Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather with the Moscow, and today I'm out here to do our April garden tour. It's gonna be our first garden tour of the year, so that's pretty exciting. We live in East Tennessee, zone 7 something. We're like right in between an A and a B. So we're gonna start down here with our raised beds that we built last year that I've got a lot of spring crops planted in. So let's take a look at that. It's behind me right now, so I'm gonna flip you around and take a look. So here they are. Here's my car, but here they are. So we've got 4 beds here that I've really enjoyed, and I'll talk over what's in all of them. So this bed here last year had carrots. I put potatoes this year. The back row of potatoes is different from the front row, and the back row is doing really good. Those are, there's 2 in here and I can't remember which is which, but one of them is a russet and the other one is a Yukon Gold. Then I've got my container of herbs right here. Container of greens. I've got a row of spinach, 1 lonely garlic that made it from last year, a row of cilantro, and 2 rows of lettuce. I've got my blueberry bushes in a pot here, strawberries, carrots in this bed, beets in that bed, and I've got a new blackberry bush here. So let's take a closer look at some of these items. So our potatoes, like I said, they're looking super good. They've just got really great foliage coming up. I'm super excited about those. This other row right down here also has foliage and it's looking good, but it's not looking near as good as the one in the back. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Then if we keep moving down in here, I've got my container of herbs. So I've got this rosemary, oregano, thyme, and parsley. Everything came back from last year except that rosemary. That rosemary I had to plant again, and I need to go get a dill plant, but the parsley is trying to like go to seed or something. So I bought an extra parsley plant in case this goes south, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. But I'm pretty excited that that all came back from last year. This by far is probably the thing that's looking the most spring fresh in my garden right now. It's beautiful. So we've got the lettuce, spinach, cilantro, and lettuce, and I'm super excited because tomorrow is Easter and we are going to make a salad from this beautiful plot of greenery here. Also, it rained this morning, and that's what's got everything looking so ethereal and beautiful. It makes the lighting beautiful, but this is far and away the most exciting thing for me in the garden right now. Loving this. Look at that cilantro. So that's those 2 beds. I'm going to show you those other 2 beds in a minute. My sister-in-law Carolina also about the cilantro because I'm really excited about it. I feel like we should just be making salsa every single day. But my sister-in-law Carolina, who makes amazing food, she's from El Salvador, but she makes amazing food, and she said she was going to bring a bean salad, which her bean salad is amazing. And I knew she put cilantro in it. I was like, if you don't have any cilantro, just get mine when you get here. So that's really exciting that she can use some too, and we get to have that delicious bean salad. So that's those 2 beds. Let's go look at the far 2 beds, and we'll stop in the middle. It's walking backwards holding a camera on a gimbal is difficult. So we've got our trellis here. It doesn't have anything on it right now. I am gonna put cow peas on it actually, so we can get some black-eyed peas this year. So we're gonna pan down underneath the trellis real quick, and here is our blueberry bush. We've got both of these blueberry bushes in here. They were looking really, really great for a while there, and then we got a frost, and so they kind of took a hit, but they're looking pretty good. So that's exciting. So that's our blueberry bush, and we'll back up and let you see. He lives right between here. And also this random strawberry plant that I've had for like 3 years. I would say it's probably like a Bonnie Plants product. But it's doing really well. The soil level is really low. It's not hooked up on a drip, but it's doing really well. So we're gonna back up one more time so we can take a look at the next 2 beds. So here's the other 2 beds. And again, this one is carrots. I can't even remember what kind I put in there. I think like Nantes and something else. Once they get just slightly bigger, I'm gonna come back in and thin these. And then this one is beets. I've never grown beets before, so I'm super excited. Then I've got a chives here. That is the cabbage that during our spring planting video we told you Jackson got at school. Super excited about that. And I put a basil out, but I also bought an amazel basil, so I put it out here too. And then this is a bush blackberry that's supposed to stay small. So let's take a look at these carrots. First of all, I guess one of the cucumbers from last year seeded itself, because there she is. And then we've got all these beautiful carrots. Just looking super good. Pretty excited about it. And then right in front of that, if we back up, we've got our chives, which I'm super excited about these cute little blooms. This came back from last year as well. And then Jackson's cabbage plant, which is also looking really good. And then our little basil. This is probably, I probably just took like a quarter of that plant off to make a pizza the other night. And then over here we've got our bed full of beets. So I planted these and I lost the first 2 rows to a frost, and then I replanted the other 2 rows. So it's looking pretty good though. So that's all 4 beds right there. Looking really cute and springy. Again, this whole area over here needs to be worked on. And then we do have some containers over here as well that we're gonna be planting some more summery things in. Probably some, this is what I had my strawberries in last year. I'm wondering if it didn't have enough drainage, but I think we're gonna put the red pepper plants here. And then I've got some other containers that I've got ready to go for some probably more ornamental things. I think I'm actually gonna put a rose bush right here, but we'll see. And then I've got this blackberry here. So I'm excited about it. It's got some blooms, obviously. Looking really good. So that's the raised bed garden area. So now we're gonna walk over here to look at the new bed that we put in. Again, we live in East Tennessee, zone 7AB-ish. This over here, the driveway over here, let me pan over a little bit, goes down to the road, into the gate, and then it comes and swings around up this way, up to our house up there. So let's go look at that garden bed over there. So for my birthday, Jason got me this cute blue spruce that needs to go right here. But this is the new garden bed. We've talked about it. We've planted in here. There's a crabapple that's coming out of bloom. Looked really pretty. Very excited about that. And then I've just been filling up this bed. With full sun things, because full sun is something that's not prevalent in my yard. So all these daffodils, I think I'm gonna dig them up and replant bulbs in the spring. This is a high traffic area. Again, there's my water hose. Told you it's real life around here. And then I've got my forsythia. And over here I've got my Limelight Hydrangea. And then in here, I planted, you can see the tag right there, this one, and right in between those daffs are 3 Munstead Wood David Austin roses. In my video about the David Austin catalog, I talked about them, and I just thought they'd be perfect for this spot. So then next to them, I have 3 coneflowers that I need to plant. And also up this way, I've got a whole slew of bananas and cream 2 daisies. So there those are. I probably need to get some of this stuff in the ground today. Also, we were at Home Depot and Jason saw, or Lowe's, and Jason saw a rose that he fell in love with, so we need to put that in the ground as well. So things are looking really good in that bed. It's coming along. Super excited about it. Now I have a collection of annuals that I've started to collect, but let's go over here next to the garage and look at the pots and stuff over there. Hold on. So again, driveway, and then the driveway comes up and we'll spin around together, gimbal, stay with me. And then the house is over here. Next to the house, these pots, we've potted them up several times, but they're high traffic areas, so I like to keep them something beautiful and seasonal, and they're looking a little past their prime right now, but let's go take a look. So the beautiful little mini daffs bloomed out on us, and so did our hyacinths, which we expected that. But this pot in the front of the, I guess that would be violas, looks great. And even though they're a little droopy right now because it did just rain out here, these tulips look really good. These are the same tulips I planted everywhere, but I'll show you at the upfront pots. They're being poached by a young Wyatt. He does not care for them, but I almost bought Minton tulips this year to put in here. And this tulip right here makes me feel like I definitely next year need to do a pretty show of just light pink. I mean, look at that. Look at this tulip with all the water droplets on it. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So next year I'll probably do all Minton tulips in here. I love the colorful show, but I think the Minton tulips would be really pretty. So now we're gonna pan to the left over to, I've got plans for these pots as well, but this was our other nice show that I showed you earlier of daffs. And they're all past their prime, and I need to mulch and weed. But if you'll notice, this is my hosta bed, and all my hostas are coming up looking gorgeous. So I need to get out here in the next day or two and get some bug and slug killer out here and out in the vegetable garden. I deal with a lot of slugs. We have a lot of moisture here, so I need to get out here and take care of that. Alrighty, so we're gonna go to a couple other places over here and look at some stuff over there. So let's walk that way. Alrighty, so this was planted by the previous owners, and I don't know what to do with it. Because on the one hand, it is a beautiful bleeding heart. Beautiful, beautiful bleeding heart, but I feel like we need to either make a bed right here or get rid of it, but it's beautiful. So this is our new garden bed over here. We're just gonna pan over, loving the mulch, loving, loving, loving. So we're just gonna walk over here and go take a look at a few things. So in the back here, we've got our three endless summer classic hydrangeas that should bloom, big bloom, beautiful blue blooms for us. I'm a little concerned with that one because it only has green in one place, so we'll see how this pans out. But I also brought this container over here from next to the driveway. I thought it would just be really fun to have a container on this tree stump. I just think it looks really ethereal and fun with the janky stick obelisk. But there's a lot of room for opportunity. I've said that before in this bed. I have no idea what I want to do right here with this bed, but there's a lot of room for opportunity. And then if we move on, there is a large section of hostas that I started working on last year and weeds. This area right here is my biggest weed problem. I'm always out here weeding it. We got to figure out how we're going to get rid of the weeds. But right now, in the shade, with the water, this is just so spring and so beautiful. But there's a myriad of hostas in here trying to concentrate on blue foliage hostas, and they're all coming up and looking beautiful. And I also have 3 heucheras right here, and I may move those and just make it all hosta because I've got my beautiful Japanese maple right here. It's another thing that we put in last year that I'm super excited about. It looks so good in the shade right here. Most of it is coming back really, really well. And then I'm a little concerned because I know that there's a type of disease that kills the top of Japanese maples, and some of my top branches aren't looking so great. So if it doesn't leaf out here shortly, I feel like it will though, because everything is like budding. Can you see that? But it's just taking longer, and it's scaring me a little bit. But I've also got more hydrangeas back here. If you can see how the drip line goes, that's where we're gonna have a hedge of hydrangea going across the back. I think it's gonna be really pretty. I just planted this the other day. This is a Sun King. And the reason I wanted this right here is because I wanted something with nice yellow foliage that would contrast really well the red foliage, and then we've got the blue foliage over there. So I'm really concentrating on doing red, yellow, and green foliage in this area. Not necessarily a whole lot of bloom color, just between the trees here. I just think that's going to make a really pretty shade border, and the yellow should show up really well. So we're going to continue on that way. Another plant that I put in this year that I haven't showed you guys yet, and this is just a dream plant. Let me tell you, I am from the South and I love southern plants, and one of the things that I think is just a truly southern plant is a camellia. So I have this April remembered camellia here that we just put in. Super excited about it as well. Another area, and this bed continues on over. I mean, we don't have much grass, but y'all, how springy does all this moss look? Looks so pretty next to my garden bed, but that's neither here nor there. This area right here, this circular into the bed, I want to do a big show of something here. I'm really excited to get to deck out this area. Really fun bed. I'm also really proud of this area behind me because this started from scratch like last year, and you saw us like just cut it out of the woods and all the things and mulch it. So I'm just super excited about it. I really enjoy it because originally it was just a wooded hot mess, and now it's turning into something beautiful, and I'm excited. So let's go and look at, because now if we pan, the house is right here. Let's go look at the front beds as well. So there's not as much going on with my front beds right now, but at least they look fairly tidy, and I'm excited about that. This is the same tulips from below, and they're not doing as good here, and I'm not quite sure why. I had a really great show of tulips last year, and I'm pretty sure I used the same variety and replanted them this year, but they're not doing as well. One of the problems I know for sure is that Wyatt comes out here and picks the blooms off them on a regular basis. But they're just not doing as good. So I'm gonna try something different next year, I think. But on the other side of the walkway, there's this bed that's got the roses that were originally here, and then we've just mulched it. We're gonna put annuals all the way through here. I've started to collect some of those. But the roses are looking good. I'm not seeing much insect pressure on them yet, which is good because caterpillars will eat these alive. And this bed, we spent a whole lot of time last year cultivating it, so let's go take a look. So over here we've got our 2 peonies. Let me back up a little bit so you can see both of them. We've got both peonies here. We've got Helena von Stein lamb's ear, if that's how you say it. I just put in these 5 Veronica. There's Dahlias planted right here. These are 2 Carding Mill roses from David Austin, and then I've got 3 Black-Eyed Susans here. So everything's looking really good. Again, the roses aren't seeing any pressure from insects yet, but I am gonna get out here and start preemptively spraying them because they got eaten alive last year when I'm doing that. The lamb's ear, I just enjoy this so much. It just makes such a great little goes over the edge border. And then the dahlias, one of them seems like it's coming back. This one right here. Can you see that? Yeah, that one right there. But I haven't seen any other action. I'm going to fill up, and I'll try to spin around slowly. This bed with dahlias, but I also have some more for over there in case those don't come back. Spinning back around, look at that. I mean, it just makes such a huge difference to have that beautiful border down there. But our peonies, this is super exciting, are just swelling with beautiful blooms. So I'm excited for that to happen, and I'm excited for these to bloom again. And then of course we've got this Veronica here. So eventually we should have some Veronica, and then hopefully they'll bloom so we'll overlap some and the yellow of the Black-Eyed Susan. So now let's go to the backyard and check out the new vegetable garden space. Alrighty, so there she is in her backyard dirt pile glory. But But I do have onions going back here, and they're doing really well. So we do have onions here, and they're looking great. So pretty excited about that. Get in a little closer. Looking really good. So that'll be really exciting. When you put onions in the ground, so anytime that you plant onions, I feel like you take these little dead looking flimsy things and you put them in the ground, and then all of a sudden they start growing new green stuff, and it's like the most amazing thing that they're not freaking dead, to be honest with you. So that's really exciting. I've talked extensively about my plans for this garden. So here in about the next week or two, because we are past our average last frost date, I will start putting in my seeds and be darn sure we're not gonna have any frost before I start putting out my tomatoes and stuff, because I started those from seed and I'm not about to let all that just come out here and die. I'm currently hardening them off though, because I'm like, no, we ain't trying to kill them. So I came back down here so that we could have the most scenic, beautiful plants in the background. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. That is going to be it for the April garden tour. It's going to be exciting in May to see what has changed. It's beautiful out here today. It's been raining a lot, but it's super green and super springy, and I love it so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.